alongside Peter Rosenberg and Big E on a night where Seth freaking Rollins finally did what up to this point he was unable to do, and that is defeat Cody Rhodes, who had been 3-0 coming into this match against Seth, but he got it done.
And we talked about it time and time again. There was so much on the line for Seth Rollins. He had to do this. This is the ultimatum from Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
So much was on the line. And look, he did it by nefarious means. But what a great match between these two. There's nothing to be ashamed of if you're Cody Rhodes, but Seth Rollins finally gets the dub.
And think about the pressure. We talked about it on the Countdown show. Bronson Reed gets the shocking victory of the night. We'll get to it later. Imagine the pressure on Seth now as the leader of the division to get it done, and he does exactly that.
Well, E, you said it was as big a must-win as you can have in this business for Seth Rollins. His credibility was on the line. The future of the division was on the line. How was he able to get it done against the likes of Cody Rhodes?
Well, I mean, we're about to see how Seth Rollins did that right here. Again, once again, such a great match. And one thing that really stood out to me is that these two are so deep into their careers, but still seeing new wrinkles in Seth Rollins' game, seeing things I'd never seen from him before.
Well, here it is, and here it is, the coast-to-coast headbutt.
Crazy!
Never knew Seth had that in the arsenal.
Wild man.
And then you'll see in a minute,
Advantage fly here.
you'll see Cody breaking out something we've never seen really either. The super crossroads, pretty rare as well. Both of these guys, like you said, E, busting out new wrinkles just when you didn't think they had it. I was like, who's going to try to outshine John Cena and AJ Styles? And these guys clearly saw the challenge in this Crown Jewel Championship match.
No, they absolutely did. They put their bodies on the line. It was a physical match. It
Here
was
you
an
go.
athletic match. This, I'm not sure I'd ever seen before.
Yeah, the super crossroads.
We thought this had to be it. And somehow Seth was able to dig deep, get the big kick out here.
Well, and that's the thing for me. We can end up talking about the watch and him using that watch to end up securing the win in the end. But I don't want that to take away from all the other great things that Seth Rollins did in this match.
Absolutely. Here's the quick diversion. The referee's down for a minute.
Ooh.
Cody sets up the crossroads, and there is the punch with the watch.
And again, that is a pivotal moment, no question. But Seth did so many things well. And there it is, the second stomp would get it done.
And like we said, Seth needed this. He had to get it done.
Well, imagine what...
And here's the thing, he did it on his own, right? Like, you come into this and you're like, will this really be a 1v1 match? Will there be outside interference? And Seth Rollins, while playing mind games, earned that Super Bowl-esque ring by defeating Cody in a true one-on-one match.
Yeah, and you know, the whole build up to this, we saw a Seth Rollins who wasn't quite himself, more contemplative Seth, but this version of Seth Rollins, you can see how much it meant to him at the end to put that ring on his finger, to finally get over that hump. When you have a rival like that, the problem is it's not really a rivalry if you keep losing time and time again. Finally, he was able to reverse course here.
And let's also remember, ever since the ruse of the century, things have not been super easy for Seth Rollins. He's coming off WrestlePalooza, right? Tough moment for him right there with his wife.
Yep.
And it just really hasn't been easy. Maintaining control of the vision hasn't been easy. Pressure from Paul Heyman hasn't been easy. So I think he felt all of that, focused it, and gets a huge, huge win.
And Jackie, one of the things that you mentioned that we didn't even consider was what happens if Bronson Reed was able to get it done, if Seth wasn't able to get it done in the main event. What is the balance of power within this faction? Now, if Seth can't get it done, but all those questions are now put aside.
If you're the big dog in the faction, you gotta be the one that gets it done, right? And Seth Rollins proves that.
But what a night for the Vision.
And it's going to be very interesting to hear from the Vision, either on Monday Night Raw or whenever it is that we are going to hear from them. And we will hear from Seth Rollins on this very show coming up on the Crown Jewel post show. But for now, let's check in with Kathy Kelly.
Well, thanks so much, Jackie. I mean, I'm just echoing what you guys said. What an incredible match. I actually got a front row seat here at the arena. All of the fans on their feet. I was on my feet at a lot of moments during that match, but one thing I do want to touch on is Seth Rollins was clutching his arm towards the end of that match. I can only speculate what that means. Hopefully you guys can get an update from him later on in this show or maybe tomorrow after he's seen medical. But I will say, you know, I didn't really get to talk to him after that match, had an interview, but while the watch that Cody Rhodes gave him might be broken, we do know that the vision that Seth Rollins has is still intact.
Well, Kathy, let me follow up with you because, you know, you were out there trying to give the people what they want, get them an immediate reaction from Seth Rollins after doing something he's never been able to do, which is defeat Cody Rhodes. Is there a question you would like us to ask him on your behalf when he comes on the show?
I mean, at this point, I was just going to ask him about what is, you know, more meaningful for him to win that Crown Jewel Championship or to finally beat Cody Rhodes.
A solid question, and of course, Seth's response was complete and utter disrespect.
Yes.
So we'll get to that, Kathy.
I don't know if it was excitement or disrespect. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
That's very generous of you. Very generous.
Kathy, thank you so much. Stellar work. We'll check in with you a little bit later. But, you know, we can ask Seth whatever questions we want when he gets up here. But we talked about the other members of the Vision and the night that they had. So let's go back to the match that opened this show. We see Braun Breaker delivering a spear to Roman Reigns in the match where Bronson Reed takes on Roman Reigns in the Australian
Well,
Street
and
Fight.
of course, you knew it was going to break down to this in the end, Big E. The thing we didn't know is you see the spear to Jimmy from Braun Breaker. We didn't know where it would land. Like right there, a cousin-to-cousin spear.
And this, for me, moving forward, is the big question. What does this dissension between Jay, between Roman, between Jimmy, what does this all mean? But more importantly, for Bronson Reed hitting the tsunami to pin Roman Reigns. We've talked about it time and time again. Cody Rhodes has been the only person in, the last 5 years to beat Roman Reigns, to pin his shoulders to the mat in a one-on-one match. And now Bronson Reed can add his name to that list.
That is a moment where in 1 second your career changes. That's what happened with Bronson Reed.
I said before this show started, and I will say it again, we have not talked about this enough. Even coming into this match, that Bronson Reed had the opportunity to put his name on that extremely short list. He has now done it, and I don't think that we're reacting properly. Like, this is a massive, massive, massive victory for Bronson Reed. This catapults him, for me, into the upper echelon of WWE superstars on the roster. And if you are not taking Bronson Reed seriously right now as a threat, then you're ridiculous. Because to me, this is a pivotal moment for him. And honestly, I kind of look at it like, wow, he did something almost nobody's been able to do, including the leader of his own group.
Yeah, it's a huge moment. You saw Paul Heyman have that moment with the Vision backstage where he's talking to Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed and said it's both of you guys now. Because I think realistically, if we're being honest, there'd been so much conversation about Braun Breaker. He's going to main event WrestleMania one day. Everyone has talked about it. Bronson Reed has been the one who's been sitting there not getting those props yet. Yes, he's the tribal thief. People had fun with that. But tonight's a night, like you said, Jackie, where now you have to take Bronson Reed seriously.
It's hugely important. I think, to your point, I think he essentially has the golden ticket. If you pin Roman Reigns, if he wants a world title shot tomorrow, he should be able to have that. He should be able to skip the line. He should be that win means that much. Honestly, it truly does.
To the front of the line, you think, if he wanted it.
If he wanted it, yeah, right away.
Yeah, I totally agree. That is the largeness of the statement that Bronson Reed made here tonight. Now, we got to talk about Roman Reigns and the Usos as well, because the interactions, while we couldn't completely make out what they were saying to each other here, it felt like Roman was saying, you know, I didn't want your help. I want to do it by myself. I want to prove I can do it by myself. What did you guys make of this?
Well, I mean, Roman has been, over the last several weeks, he has been advising Jay while Jimmy stood off to the side. This unit, the three gentlemen, they have not been on the same page. And once again, we see further rifts between these three. We see the twins once again arguing. I don't know what this means moving forward for them, but they're clearly not on the same page. I think we see a lot of fractures within this group, and I think this thing can explode very quickly.
It may have. I think there's a world in which that's the last time we see those guys attempting to work with each other for a while. That was the level of frustration I saw from Roman Reigns. And as we spent a lot of time on the importance of the win for Bronson Reed, we'd be remiss to not point out how huge a loss that is for Roman Reigns. I mean, this is already a guy, we've talked about this. Roman Reigns, we know he's the man. We know he's the head of the table. You and I,
the aura.
We respect the aura.
Off the charts.
We respect
the charts.
aura is out of here.
We acknowledge our tribal chief, okay?
But that being said.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But that being said, it has been a challenging time for Roman, and now a big loss.
Yeah, it
So-
is a massive loss, and I'm very curious to see Roman moving forward because for someone who, of course, his entire career and especially the last 5-6 years, he was incredibly dominant, but he had the bloodline. He had a lot of support. He had his wise man. To hear him say, like, I want to do this myself, I want to do this on my own, to me is a very intriguing statement coming from Roman Reigns, who has accomplished everything you can accomplish in WWE. All right, they were chanting for the OTC. We acknowledge him, of course.
But there's
it's
someone
time
else
to
you
get to
have
our
to
first-
acknowledge.
Oh,
Listen,
absolutely.
you cannot have anyone before this particular
No.
person when you are in Perth, Australia at a WWE Premium Live event. And that person is one Rhea Ripley, who is going to join us here on the Crown Jewel post show. She will be here momentarily, so why don't we give
you guys
it up?
want to say hello to the birthday girl?
You got to earn it.
Can
Let's
you
go.
say hello? We need it louder for the birthday girl.
Put your hands together for the one and only Australia's very own. Congrats and happy birthday. Of course.
I love you guys. Hell yeah.
Rhea Ripley, welcome back to Australia. Congratulations on your victory. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
How cool is this? I imagine it doesn't ever get old.
It doesn't. It's actually wild. Just to see that the dates added up perfectly to have my birthday here and come on.
Oh, that's so fun.
You guys are wild. I love it. This is why we need to come back to Australia more often, eh?
So, Rhea, it's been a surreal few years for you. Are you at a point now where you're able to like actually take this moment in, that it's your birthday, you just won a huge match with Io Sky at Crown Jewel in your home nation? Like, are you able to process it all properly at this point?
Yeah, I mean,
Oscar,
I'm taking every second of this in, honestly. This is amazing. I'm hoping that they don't have to, beep this out, but this is a fantastic chant right now because it's so correct. But yeah, just taking it in, I mean, I've had a lot of trouble with it in the past because I feel like my life is just going by so quickly, but every time I come home, I feel the little kid in me that grew up watching WWE and started at Riot City Wrestling, and I really have to take it in because these are my people.
It's so fun.
It's so good.
I love it. Rhea, let's keep it going. Let me stop.
You can't cut the
you
people
can't
off.
really fight it.
You can.
Damn straight I will.
Ah. Hey, she won't be your girl. She'll be your mommy, okay?
Exactly.
Rhea, one of the things that I love is you are so open about some of your earlier struggles with your confidence, finding your footing. It's impossible to talk with them. They're incredible. But you seem to really be owning this moment, your confidence, you are really flourishing. Just can you talk about your growth and just your comfortability in your own skin as of late?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge advocate for being yourself. I had to go through a lot to get to the point that I'm at now.
They don't love Oscar. They do
They
not
hate
love
Oscar.
Oscar.
I love
I think
it.
you're right.
I love it. But yeah, I had to go through like a lot of struggles in my life to actually accept who I am as a person. And you know,
All right, no,
Oh,
it's a bridge too
okay.
far.
It's a family show.
this is my country, guys.
It really is. It really is. But you now have found that comfort, you think?
I've now found that comfort, and I've gone through roller coasters of emotions with everything. Obviously, the whole thing with the Judgment Day and my family turning on me was a massive learning point for me, a massive character development point for me as a human. So now I feel like I can relate to other people and sort of help them out with what's going on with their life too, and just try and be there for people. And I'm growing as a human. I think that's what people understand. I think that's why the people get behind me, and they understand that everyone is growing into the person that they're supposed to be. And that's all I want to stand for. And I want everyone to feel comfortable in their own skin and accept themselves. And I think Asuka is a bin chicken. That's exactly what I think.
A bin chicken?
A
What
bin
is
chicken.
that?
Yeah.
Wait, what is a bin
What
chicken?
is that?
It's like this bird that it just eats trash.
My God.
Oh, a garbage bin chicken.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, yes, of
Okay.
course, of course.
That's
of
why I
course.
was like, I gotta say trash so you guys know.
Okay, I mean, we need the context. We need the context on the Crown Jewel post show. But you know what? Congratulations on the win tonight. Congratulations on everything else, because you started out as a girl from Adelaide, Australia that loved wrestling and didn't even know if it was possible to make it to WWE, and you were an example for everyone here that you can get all the way across the world and climb the top of the mountain. But let's take a look at the I mean, you went in looking pretty confident for this match.
I mean.
Did the match present any challenges that you didn't expect from the Kabuki Warriors?
I mean, the Kabuki Warriors, they're fantastic at what they do. They've been a tag team for so extremely long, and obviously Io and I, we've faced each other multiple different times. We know each other very well, but we haven't really tagged many times together, so it's a massive learning curve for us. For me, tag matches are very difficult because I just want to get in there and beat the crap out of someone, but I gotta follow the rules sometimes. So for me, that's my biggest learning curve, just trying to support and help and get in there to help my partner, who was Io Sky. So
You love to see it. And you guys don't seem to have any of that
Zero.
competitive tension.
Right,
Like,
right.
you guys really
There's
seem
not
to...
been a moment where you're like, ooh, is this gonna work?
there we go. I love it too, guys. Yeah, I mean, we've got competitive tension, but that's when we're in the ring against each other. Like, we... Oh, she's gonna love that. Io Sky.
Are they gonna do the thing, the EO thing?
Oh, maybe.
Do that? A whole crowd doing that? Oh, okay. Last final question. Do you think we'll see you tag with her again?
You think, oh, you know, you guys think I should tag with Io again?
I think that's a yes.
Pretty
That is-
unanimous
That's a
answer.
yes. I'm down for it. Whatever comes in the future, comes in the future, but I'm 100% down for some Rio action.
All right, Rio, we appreciate your time so much. Congratulations again. Go celebrate your birthday.
I
Have
will.
some
Happy
cake. Do all of the
birthday.
things.
Thanks,
Happy
guys.
birthday. You are the best.
Thank
Enjoy
you,
it.
guys.
You know everyone loves you, right? We all love you.
I can feel it. I
Yes.
can feel
Happy
it.
Love, love.
birthday.
You deserve to
guys.
feel it. You deserve to feel it. Rhea Ripley,
Thank you.
everybody. Give it up for her one more time.
I love you guys.
All right. A hell of a match from Rhea Ripley, the birthday girl. 105 matches on tonight's card at Crown Jewel. And oh my goodness, did we get a fun one between John Cena and AJ Styles.
Man, this was a barn burner. I remember talking to AJ. He said, just wait until you see what we're about to do. And boy, did they deliver. We watched this together, you and me, Rosenberg.
Sister Abigail, we got to cover some of these tribute moves from
Yep.
John Cena. It's like he kept shocking us, over and over again.
And man, the look to the sky, the fireflies after Sister Abigail, seeing the RKO,
I didn't think Cena had an RKO in him.
the middle rope DDT. Time and time again, these two dug deep.
Also, shout out to AJ, who is wearing his old school TNA trunks from 05-06. the same trunks he was wearing on the cover
Of PWI.
of PWI all the way back in the day
Yep.
when they were fantasizing about a dream match between these two who we never thought we'd see together.
No, this was truly special. I love the little bits. I love the tributes to the gear. A tombstone pile driver from John Cena. Who would have thunk it? Who would have thunk
By
it?
the way, Cena has to make a phone call to Undertaker before that, right?
You would think so.
Has to,
Just
right?
to ask for his blessing. You know?
But listen, he still made sure he hit the AA after the tombstone and then the respect.
And the love right here, man. Truly a special moment. Two absolute legends.
And shout out to AJ Styles as well for kicking out of a ton of
Oh my gosh.
amazing moves.
He brought it tonight.
But you know what? It's so interesting. We talk about John Cena calling Taker to ask permission. Look at this stat. Most premium live event wins in WWE history. John Cena hit 100 tonight.
Wow.
Only The Undertaker has more.
Man,
Pretty great.
It's a testament, you know, to what John Cena has been for so long. But my favorite thing that I've seen so far from John Cena in this like historic final run is we had that period with John. His personality was lost. He wasn't the same John Cena that we knew. And frankly, the matches weren't living up to John Cena. Now we're getting those matches, and you see what we have ahead of us.
4 more, that's it.
I know.
You got 2 Raws, one in his hometown of Boston, then of course the Mecca MSG, followed by Survivor Series in San Diego, and then it all ends in my hometown, Washington, D.C. in December.
So I imagine you will be there.
I think I'm going to go to
think
that
you're
one.
gonna go.
I think
You know what?
I'm going to go.
You know what I loved about that Cena Styles match? I honestly felt like a kid again. And everyone
Yes.
around me had that sort of inner kid come out and be like, oh my God, he's doing the thing. And then it was, oh my God, he's doing that thing now.
Yep.
And now he's doing that one. It was so
When we were
fun.
playing
It
a
was
game
so
while we were
fun.
watching, we were trying to think, which tributes have we not seen him hit yet?
Which one's next?
He hit the Miz skull-crushing finale.
It was so good.
There's just so many great
And it
things.
The
just
Bray
reminds you-
Wyatt one was
So
amazing.
touching,
Sister
so truly
Abigail.
touching. It just reminds you of how many incredible rivalries he's had over his career. And one of the things that really stood out to me is when we first went out into that arena, it looked like the gathering of the minions. All those yellow shirts. Look at this crowd behind us. I've never seen anything like this. The love for this man, John Cena, here in Perth has been incredible all week long.
It felt like he had home field advantage.
No, I literally.
in Australia.
When I first walked into the arena after my gorilla walk, I thought they were giving these shirts out on the seats. Everyone had a shirt. That is not what happened, folks.
No.
They bought these shirts. They love them some John Cena in Australia.
Yeah, they certainly do. Congratulations to John Cena on an incredibly fun match and a huge victory over AJ Styles, one of his greatest rivals in his career. But of course, we also saw the continuation of momentum for one Stephanie Vaquer. She has been the Women's World Champion for, I believe, 21 days, and now she is the second ever Women's Crown Jewel Champion, and she is going to join us right here on the Crown Jewel post show. I believe she has both of her championships with
Oh,
her.
yes, she
And that
So
ring.
come on out.
You got the bling.
Bling, bling, baby.
Congratulations.
Hi. Congratulations again.
She's got title and rings and things.
She's gonna need a wheelbarrow.
Yeah,
Carry
you
everything
need
soon.
help with these titles? I'm like,
Chip is too big, or maybe
maybe you're too small.
Here they go again.
Speaking of deserving it, one of the things I wanted to ask you is the reactions you've had in the United States have been incredible. What does it mean for you to come all the way over here to Australia and get the love from the people like this?
that means the dream of my life. And really, today, the energy and the love I received today here made me want to come back again and again to Australia.
Now, you've now won the championship against Io. You win the Crown Jewel Championship against Tiffy. Who else is in that women's locker room that you look at and think, I'd like to defend my title against them?
Everyone. But
hadn't thought of that.
I don't know if you're happy with that, but Rhea Ripley.
Oh!
Rhea Ripley, she's amazing wrestler. She's amazing person too, and she have a really good experience here. So I really want to facing Rhea Ripley. Yes.
I don't think the WWE Universe would mind that at all.
Be a classic.
No,
barn
I
burner.
think they would have no problem selling tickets to that event when it does in fact come to fruition. I'll ask you this. It has felt like your momentum just builds and builds and builds over the last year in WWE. What does it feel like the last year for you? Like, how do you feel about everything that's happened in such a fast amount of time?
For me, I can't feel this like so fast because for me, they took many years for sacrifice. But this, I repeat, this is my dream.
Yeah.
This is my dream. So I really enjoy now. I'm so happy, and I enjoy now.
All right, well, you are on quite a roll. Is this heavy? Are these heavy, carrying
Yes.
both?
Heavy. Really heavy.
Heavy are the shoulders that hold the title.
Actually, let's see the ring. We have you on the show. We should get
That
it
thing
close.
is
Let's
gaudy.
move the ring to the. Oh, it's so nice. It's actually so nice. All right, Stephanie, congratulations
Thank you.
again. Thank
so
you for
much.
coming on the show and chatting with us, and we'll see you on Raw.
See you soon.
Give it up for La
Yes.
Primera!
All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break here on the Crown Jewel Post Show, but there is still more to come, including a visit from Seth Rollins as well as our Chief Content Officer, Paul Triple H Levesque. Stick around. The Post Show continues after this.
Let's get into this. Let's break down this match frame by frame.
Man, this thing was special. Even just this moment. I love that Cena is now taking these moments to take it all in, to look at the crowd, to look at the sea of yellow.
Man, I got to tell you, there was a lot of conversation backstage among the biggest names in this company about how amazed they were at the amount of shirts.
I've never seen anything like this. My 16 years in WWE, I have never seen one talent just take over with merch like that.
And you are not the only one who said that. That sentiment was echoed throughout. And here it is, that Sister Abigail. Such a beautiful moment from John here. And by the way, he really whips AJ into the
He
mat.
really does, man.
I mean,
this moment was so touching. I love afterwards, after the kick out from AJ here, John takes a moment to look up at the sky, seeing the fireflies, seeing how much the crowd here tonight showed so much respect to Bray Wyatt.
and
Really
you know
beautiful
what?
moment.
I would say that the Firefly Funhouse match may have been Bray's last iconic, one of his last iconic moments, and John's last iconic moment before this comeback. They had such great history. I didn't know John could get
The
out of the
RKO.
I didn't know he had it.
And look, what got me too, the setup for the 619, are we really going to see a 619 from John Cena? Fortunately for AJ, he was able to clothesline him out of that. But my goodness, man, what a match. And AA here.
What if John is
From AJ
practicing
Styles.
the 619 before he gets to San Diego?
I'd love to see it. Oh, what a spot to hit it. That'd be the place to hit it.
Was that a tease?
It might be. We see the goozle here. Never thought I'd see a John Cena choke slam either, but we got one.
And that is truly an Undertaker homage as well, because very Taker-like to stop the you can't see me with the throat grab into the choke slam. It was so awesome, man. I'm just still so blown away by what the crowd looked like. AJ, the classic 450 splash.
And look, a lot of the discussion is rightfully going to be about John Cena, but my goodness, what a performance tonight from AJ Styles. He really had it.
Well,
He
and,
kicked out of everything.
well, and remember, AJ, as he's talked about this week, he's no spring chicken either, and he still looks like he's absolutely in his prime. The phenomenal forearm, as phenomenal as ever at 48 years old, Big E.
He still got it, man. And I like, it's hard to see him hanging up. I was like, I know you got at least a couple more great years in you. Cena again with another attitude adjustment.
He kicked out of a bunch of those, but now that is
That was
the
another
last one.
Yep.
Did you have a favorite tribute?
got to be the Bray,
It's
right?
the Bray. It's the Bray. Yep.
Although getting them up into the tombstone that
That's
way.
amazing. I didn't expect that.
And then, of course, you think he's going to go for the Taker-like pin, but he teases you, goes back for another AA.
And that was it.
And that's all he needed, man.
Yeah.
And I
Look
hate
at
to
that
ask this
crowd.
question too soon, but what now?
You are asking the question that I'm talking about on my radio show every single week.
What a plug!
What is next?
We'll see.
Crown Jewel is presented in part by Prime Hydration. No caffeine, zero added sugar, and packed with electrolytes, antioxidants, and B vitamins. The official hydration drink of WWE, now available at 7-Eleven.
Wait, is he stripping right now on
They
the post
wanted
show?
me to.
They can't. Just because they yell "take it off" doesn't mean you have to listen.
They're
I
very
mean,
influential.
Doesn't it though? I'm just kidding. Welcome back
That's
to Crown
not
Jewel
a tone
Post
to set
Show.
here, Jackie.
The crowd is absolutely electric, and the show's been over for almost 40 minutes. So kudos to the people here in Perth that packed the house. It was sold out. You hear them reacting now because walking on set is our men's Crown Jewel champion, Seth Rollins. Fresh off. Let them do their thing.
Yeah, they got to you got to just sit back.
Seth Rollins taking his time as he should.
They won't be able to see me.
The crowd has some thoughts.
Oh.
Yeah.
They've been having thoughts, see. They've been having thoughts as we welcome Seth Rollins to the Crown Jewel post show. Seth, congratulations. You got a lot of bling going on right now. A lot of bling. How heavy is the ring? Is that a silly question to start with?
That ring is not heavy enough, in my opinion. It feels
Hold it up for
good.
our camera if you
It
don't mind.
feels real good. I don't know if you can see it here over all of my other gold on this table. But man, I'll tell you what, boys.
And girl.
We did it. We did it. Yeah. I don't know. What is it, guys? Am I a wanker or I am the absolute greatest?
Hate you, they love
Figure it out.
you. They can't
Figure it
decide.
out.
It depends
Perth.
who you ask. Seth, the way that you're carrying yourself right now, the level of excitement you have, it makes me think that you do feel like you sort of got a monkey off your back by beating Cody Rhodes. Is that a fair way of describing the feeling?
How irritated are you right now by that?
Was CM Punk on that show tonight? Is CM Punk the world champion? Is CM Punk the Crown Jewel champion? What are they saying?
It's not sunny.
I don't understand this.
You're wearing
It's not
sunnies
sunny.
when it's not sunny.
And you're wearing the
Not sunny.
Those are Versace glasses, folks.
Boys and girls, the sun is shining on me brighter than you can ever imagine right now.
Okay, so was it getting a monkey off your back to beat Cody?
It felt good. It felt good.
Aw, boo.
It felt very, very good, Rosenberg.
All right, well,
Very, very good. I mean, here's somebody who went away, came back, felt like he was entitled to my spot. Felt like he was the self-appointed QB1. Like, he's the one who has brought all of these fans, if you call them that, to this building tonight. I have been here. I have never left. When after these idiots, me too, me too. And guess what? I'm the only one that's got her. Me. When half of these idiots turn their, nobody wants her, nobody wants her, nobody wants her. When half of these morons turn their back on this place and try to tear it down, along with guys like CM Punk and Cody Rhodes, I was here. I carried the flag when it wasn't cool to do it. I was the banner waver when it wasn't cool to do it. And now here I am, finally, after all this time, getting the recognition I deserve. So I appreciate your question.
Yes, congrats.
I do.
Seth, we talked a lot in the pre-show about the conversation you had backstage with Paul Heyman a week ago. Was there any pressure? I think a lot of us felt like it was a bit of an ultimatum. It felt like win now. Did you feel any pressure going into this match after the conversation with Paul?
There's always pressure going into matches like this. This is champion versus champion. This is two of the absolute best on the planet going toe-to-toe. And so I always feel pressure. But what you need to understand, and you know this, Rosenberg's figuring it out, you're figuring it out. What you need to understand about me is that when I'm backed against the wall, when I have a chip on my shoulder, when I've got something to prove, there is nobody better.
What are they saying?
You don't want to know. You don't want to know.
I can't figure it out.
Yeah, no, ignore that.
Let me ask you, I'm going to ignore it and ask you another question. Bronson Reed proved something tonight with a huge victory over Roman Reigns. Can I get your thoughts on that victory, and I think what this weekend means for the division as a whole moving forward?
Bronson Reed is who I thought he was. There is a reason I recruited him into the Vision. He put me out. 6 tsunamis, put me on the shelf. I saw in him not just the ability, but the killer instinct. He wanted to get to the next level. He targeted me. As much as we went to war, I respect that. And tonight, what he did to Roman Reigns, taking this guy and putting him down.
Only the second guy to pin him in 5 years.
There are not very many people who can say they pinned Roman Reigns. I'm one of them,
Yep.
and now Bronson Reed is another. And I'm so proud of him, and this is what the Vision is for, to take the future of this company and give it the pedestal it deserves.
Where did you get the coast to coast?
I was about to say the coast to coast headbutt. I lost my mind.
Where did that come from, my guy?
Dude, the truth is, and I told Cody I would do anything, by any means necessary. Whatever it took, I was going to try to beat him. I saw an opportunity, I took it. It didn't pay off, and honestly, there might be some long-term ramifications, but at the end of the day, I was going to lay it all on the line. I leave everything in that ring, no matter what. No matter what. Rough landing right there, rough landing. Rough landing.
So what's next for Seth freaking Rollins? What's the next step?
There you go. Love for Braun.
What's next? Y'all are wild. What's next? I'm going to do exactly what I said I was going to do before WrestleMania for years and years and years. I said I am going to help usher this company into the future, and I plan on doing that with Braun Breaker, with Bronson Reed, with the Oracle, because I am, bro, there are children here. Relax, bro. What's wrong with you? What is wrong with these people?
A lot of the children are the ones
Hey,
watching too.
you know what? It's not about you. It's not about you. Want to come up here? Want to come up here?
No.
You want to
Now
come
he's
here and do what I do.
Thank you.
There's a
All right,
reason
that's it.
you're all out there and I'm right here. It's because it's not about you. And the sooner you figure that out, the better off you're all gonna be.
And on
I'm
that
not
note,
taking off my glasses. I'm not going away. I'm the greatest to
Seth
ever do
freaking
this.
Rollins.
And there's nothing you little idiots can do about it.
Thank you, Seth.
all right, Seth, congratulations
Congrats to you, my man.
on all of the accomplishments, including a big one tonight with a victory over Cody Rhodes, officially our men's crown jewel champion. We appreciate your time.
Thank you. At least somebody does.
We
Commanders
really
beat
do.
the Bears
Thank
on
you.
Monday. I'm sorry.
Oh, you had to get that dig in at the end, didn't ya? All right, as Seth Rollins exits the Crown Jewel post show, we continue. Here are tonight's results. We just talked to Seth Rollins, who defeated Cody Rhodes for the Crown Jewel Championship. Stephanie Vaquer won the Women's Crown Jewel Championship. John Cena, in a very, very cool match, defeats one of his best and most popular rivals in AJ Styles. And in tag team action, the hometown girl Rhea Ripley teaming up with Io Sky defeats the Kabuki Warriors. And of course, the night started with Division's Bronson Reed with a huge, massive, could not be bigger victory, pinning Roman Reigns, just the second superstar to do that in one-on-one action in the last 5 years. It has been a monumental night here at RAC Arena
They think I'm
in
sexy.
Perth,
That's-
Australia. And here's the thing, we're not done with the guests just yet.
By the way, I'm
Yeah,
very,
one more.
I know, and I'm excited to hear what chance they have for our next guest.
I think they'll be vastly different than the ones Seth
I
got.
think they will as well.
I think that's safe to say. So without further ado, let's bring in WWE's Chief Content Officer, Paul Triple H Levesque.
Play the man's music.
I will not.
Play the man's music, for God's sake.
You saw what I did there.
I did. Well
Yes,
done.
all right.
Here
The
we go.
game is here, everybody. I don't know if I'm ready for this.
How you doing?
Good. How you doing? Pretty good. Better question is, how are you?
I'm great. What a night, right?
Great
Incredible
night.
show.
What a night.
What a week.
What a crowd. There's going to be a
One
lot
we
of
can't
different
have.
ones.
Yeah, what an incredible night. You know, just Perth is an incredible city. Such a beautiful place. The weather's been amazing. A little cooler this time, but everything's been off the chart. Town, I've been enjoying it here, you know, for a few days now, swimming with dolphins and hanging out and just having a great time. I want to thank Tourism Western Australia for bringing us here again. We've had an amazing partnership with them now for quite a few years between us and UFC. It's been epic. Tonight was no different. 13,000 fans doing this all night long. It's been epic.
It's been incredible. I was going to say, we were all buzzing watching the Cena-Styles match. What were your impressions watching that match?
Well, I don't do impressions, Big E, but I was. Yeah. They were doing impressions all night long, is what they were doing.
They were.
You know, it was incredible. Just, you know, you hear this sometimes said in this business. It was a love letter to professional wrestling. I really believe that. And those two of the most decorated performers, two of the greatest performers of a generation, both kind of coming to the end now. In a way, I feel like there was a part of me at the end of this thing was like, I hope people appreciate this while they still have it. But, you know, for both of them to go out there, perform at this level, do what they did, and just put on a massive tribute to what we all love to do, get to watch. It was just incredible.
Yeah, that match, it turned so many people backstage into kids watching it, just like, oh my gosh, now he's doing this one, now he's doing this one. And so many people that have been in this business and around this business way longer than I have talked about the number of John Cena t-shirts, yellow t-shirts that they saw in that arena tonight, said they've never seen anything look like it.
Yeah.
Rosenberg said it looked like we handed them out. We did not.
I thought it was like an
We did
Oklahoma
not.
City Thunder game. Like they put them on the seats.
Savannah Bananas or
Yeah,
something.
Yes.
No, it was incredible. The amount of shirts was unbelievable, but that's a testament to John Cena and who he is as a performer. You know, just at this moment in time, you know, I think people are beginning now with what do we have left now? Like 5,
Four.
One more after this.
you know, they're beginning to realize, I think, what's about to be over. And you just want to have that last memento. You want to be a part of it. You want to have something that you can take home with you and say, I was there. And I think that's what you see with this, with all that yellow in the crowd tonight. Just an incredible moment. There were so many incredible moments in that match and things for people to react to. The Bray Wyatt moment, you know, for me, just, you know, even just watching it, I was getting choked up just watching it.
So, listen, we can't ignore some of the names that have been said out here.
They're talking to you right now.
No, that one. Thank you.
Zing.
I mean, everybody in the world knows. It's not a secret anymore, dude.
They've been doing it to me all night. Wait, people yelling Batista. They're yelling Edge. We're hearing all these names. Is your phone blowing up at all these days with text messages of people saying, "Hey, man, let me get something with John Cena"?
Well, yeah, I mean, look, the second John said he was coming back to do this retirement, everybody that, you know, from top to bottom, looking to sort of have one last moment there with him, you know what I mean, and have a meaningful thing. And John touched so many careers, was across so many people, helped so many talent out along the way, or had moments with him. They all just want to be a part of it, and I get it. Just can't do it with everybody.
We talked about how much this win means for Bronson Reed. Cody Rhodes, I think, over the last 5 years has been the only person to pin Roman. Just what are your impressions about Bronson and his growth and how much this win means for him moving forward?
Well, I think for Bronson, this solidifies where he is, right? He's in a top spot right now in the division with Braun Breaker, with Paul Heyman. There's a lot of people, I think, when something that big happens to you, where people are a little bit taken aback by it and say, well, that's not his role. He's not that guy. He's not this. He's not that. If he did anything tonight, he proved he is that guy. And he should be exactly where he is. He should be at the top of the food chain. And I think the whole world saw a new monster created tonight.
Oh, a statement was certainly made, a big one. We can't talk about a show in Australia without talking about Rhea Ripley and the star that she is. We've been waxing poetic about it all day. We got Drake talking about her. We got pro athletes wearing her shirts. Like, this woman has transcended WWE. It's not an easy thing to do, even for the biggest stars in WWE. Why do you think she's connected so much with so many people?
It's just who she is, and she's authentic. What you see with Rhea Ripley is what you get. She is who she is. She brings it to the table, her authentic self, and I think they totally get that and they feel it. And she just has that innate charisma that you cannot put your finger on exactly what it is, but you know it when you see it. And the thing is, while she's from here and they're going crazy for her, it's global. Yeah. I can tell you that as big of a reaction as she got here tonight, you guys all know this, as big as a reaction she got here in her home country, she gets it every single place we go, whether it's the UK, whether it's the States, whether it's Canada, whether it's Mexico, everywhere we go, she gets that reaction. She is a global superstar.
Now, we'd be remiss also to not talk about another woman.
See how every time you talk, they go right back to that cat? It's what it is.
Stephanie Vaquer, though. I mean, you talked about it. There was some conversation in that episode of Unreal when you were talking about how the women seem to just get it by the time they get up here from NXT.
Yeah.
And we've seen it time and time again. What can you say about Stephanie Vaquer's run?
Stephanie is, to me, is a talent very much like a Rhea Ripley, in that as you see her moving forward, you begin to realize this is just her. This is authentically her. She's not coming out here and trying to be something she's not, or put on a character, or put on a front, or get a rise out of people. She is just out here being her. She is living her dream, her authentic self, and you sense it in her. She has an innate charisma like Rhea does. I think when you get a few years down the road, maybe sooner, I don't know, but at some point in time, Rhea Ripley and Stephanie Vaquer run into each other, and I think that is going to be an incredible moment.
Absolutely, and Tiffany has had such an incredible year as well, and I think continues to rise to the occasion in these big spots.
Absolutely. Tiffany, tonight, you know, I think what has been about a year since she's been defeated here in WWE, which is unheard of. She's been champion for an incredible amount of time right now. I think you saw her ascend to another level as well. Even in defeat with Stephanie Vicaire, she came out of that match so much better than she walked in. Again, the women, the star power in the women and the up-and-coming women is just next level.
Absolutely is. And I want to address it just because they were chanting it a few short moments ago. The crowd here in Perth has truly been incredible. Is there a chance that we see a WrestleMania here in Perth at some time?
Look, I don't think that there is any place in the globe, if there's anything that you've seen in the last couple of years, 2-3 years, it's that this is truly a global brand, right? You saw it in Paris. You're going to see it in Saudi. You see it in London. You've seen it in Cardiff. You've seen it in Ireland. You're seeing it in Mexico right now. You're seeing it all over the globe. We're a global company, which means we do global events, and we do them better than anybody else on the planet. So is there an opportunity to see WrestleMania, the Rumble, SummerSlam in all these other places? Absolutely. It's just going to take time to see where we can go. And the logistics, as you know, Mania isn't just an event. It's over a week of events.
Yeah.
Bringing that to somewhere brings a whole nother level of logistics. So we're excited to go to Saudi, but excited to see where's next after that. And the planning process is long.
And seeing the way that even here in Perth this week, how everyone's out in the community, all the superstars getting involved with so many different things, it's more than just the event.
Yeah, it's more than the event, and that is for events like this. That is for everything that we do on a day-to-day basis. You see us here this week for 3 days, doing a lot of stuff, but WrestleMania is a different animal. WrestleMania is bringing the Super Bowl someplace outside of the U.S. It's a whole different undertaking. We're going to learn a lot in 27 about what can and cannot be done. But it's just going to be a process. And, as I said, we're a global company. The big W at the front of WWE is for world. And I look forward to bringing the greatest entertainers, the greatest of entertainment, the greatest kickoff and countdown shows, all of that to these markets all around the world.
There's a reason that we do these international shows. Sold out show tonight. We got Monday Night Raw on Monday in 48 hours as well. I assume the crowd for that will be just as rambunctious. We've seen Miz swimming with dolphins with Chelsea, people meeting kangaroos, holding koalas, doing shoeies with Grayson. What did Paul Triple H Levesque do in Australia that really stood out?
I worked.
Okay.
Yeah, the entire time. Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
You didn't make it to the zoo, huh?
No, I didn't
Maybe
make it
tomorrow?
to the zoo. I actually didn't. Just to the hotel and here is the only place I've made it so far. But
all right.
But I've loved it, and it's exciting, and I love being here and seeing these crowds. For me, that's the payoff. I don't need to swim with a dolphin. I just need to be here and experience this.
With a kangaroo before we leave. Just,
one of them.
Maybe on a stroll or something. But we appreciate the time. Hell of a show tonight, and I'm looking forward to Monday Night Raw as well.
I cannot wait. 3 nights, 3 sellouts. It's going to be incredible. Monday night will be no different. And Perth has been amazing.
It certainly has. All right, give it up one more time for Paul Triple H Levesque.
Thank you, Paul.
All right, thank you so much. All right, like we said, we got a sold-out show. One more here in Perth, Australia, Monday Night Raw in 48 hours. Special start time, 8 a.m. Eastern, 5 a.m. Pacific on Netflix. Make sure you tune in. We already know a couple of matches that we'll see this coming Monday night. The Intercontinental Championship is on the line. Dominic Mysterio defending that. Elsewhere on the evening on Monday Night Raw, we've got Bayley and Lyra taking on Roxanne and Raquel. Big E is laughing his butt off right now. This crowd is absolutely ridiculous, and I mean that in the most loving way. But final thoughts.
They didn't have to call me that while the boss was here, though.
It happens.
I just love
They're
that
chanting
I think
Ginger for Kylie, who was behind
Oh, that
the
was
scenes.
for
For Kylie, our beloved Ginger behind the scenes.
I think, listen, if I had a top moment moment of the post show, it might be Hunter calling you a wanker, but it's not about me right now. It's about Big E's 5 count and his top 5.
I don't know if I'll be able to get through the 5 count with this insane crowd that was chanting for my socks, but welcome to Big E's 5 count, where I run down my top 5 performers of the night. Apparently I'm sexy. No,
you are sexy.
Number 1, we got Bronson Reed. On March 2011, the Tohoku earthquake in Japan created a tsunami felt in Sydney and Port Kembla harbors. And that was the last major tsunami felt in Australia until October 11th, 2025, when Bronson Reed shocked the world and beat Roman Reigns. Number 2, we have John Cena. On February 1997, Blackstreet released Don't Leave Me with the lyrics, "But if you walk away, you'll make this grown man cry." And after a match that incredible, when the GOAT leaves, I might just shed a few tears.
No diggity, Biggie. No diggity.
Number 3, we have AJ Styles. Okay, the order was reversed, but AJ Styles is our third. In March of 2001, I was barely passing my high school freshman Latin class, and AJ Styles was wrestling on WCW Nitro.
That's insane.
This man has been stellar for decades, and he put on one incredible performance here tonight. Number 4, we have Rhea Bloody Ripley. The Latin phrase amicus meus inimicus inimicae mei essentially means the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Rhea teams up with our longtime rival Io Sky to pick up the win in her home country. And last but certainly not least, Seth freaking Rollins. Look, in 2011, J. Cole rapped, "No more Mr. Nice Guy. Hello, Mr. Nice Watch." And surely he was foreshadowing Seth's Rolex watch, talking to him like the Green Goblin mask. Seth Rollins is your crown jewel champion. And that is Big E's 5.
Oh, man.
Very well done.
That was
I don't know,
worth the trip.
I struggled to get through that. This
got
crowd,
through it.
they're very distracting. They're incredible, but they're very distracting.
But it was a very good 5 count.
Thank you.
Rosenberg, you now have the floor. Do you have any final thoughts?
Oh, it was just an amazing, I just want to thank Perth, Australia. This week in Perth was absolutely amazing. And furthermore, we got to see a support for John Cena.
So sorry. I'm so sorry. I had
You
to.
had- no,
they
you had
chanted
to.
Boldy.
No, you had
I had
to. You
Sorry.
had to do
Go
it.
ahead. Go ahead.
But on the
what
John
the people
Cena of
wanted.
it all, everyone has been so focused about what's next for John Cena, what's the last match, whatever. Let's just enjoy each match as they come, because what we got tonight was incredible.
Are you enjoying that moment
we
as
end
it
the show.
happened?
Let's just wrap it up.
All right, wanker, we'll do that.
I'm out.
Listen, it's an amazing night here in Perth, Australia. We are jet lagged, we are tired, but oh my goodness, were we entertained. For Big E and Peter Rosenberg, one more kiss to the head as we say goodbye. And thank you for watching. Let's take a look back at a big night here at Crown Jewel.
Perth, Australia entertains the world. Thousands of WWE fans are here to experience all the live action. Welcome to WWE Crown Jewel Perth.
I'm making an offer that you cannot deny. You won't be laughing when I'm making you cry. Oh, I hear the please get louder. This son of a dick on a begging coward. Vendetta is a friend of mine. Revenge is sweeter than wine. I never asked you, you got feelings. Get on your knees and you are kissing my
John Cena versus AJ Styles. One final time. Ladies and gentlemen, this is why we all fell in love with professional wrestling. That was incredible. Asuka and Kairi Sane team up against Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley with a riptide.
Io Sky delivering the death knell to the Kabuki Warriors tonight.